Story 1. I've been with my boyfriend, male 25, for 3 years. We both just finished school and are finally ready for marriage. He proposed last week and I happily said yes. I could not be happier. I love him and he's going to be an amazing dad someday. But my boyfriend is very new school and my dad is kind of old school. My dad was beyond mad that my boyfriend did not ask my dad for my hand before proposing. My dad said he was willing to hear my boyfriend's apology if my boyfriend formally asks for my hand at a dinner that my dad said he will pay for at the restaurant of my boyfriend's choosing. My dad feels like he's being very accommodating. He will bring my boyfriend's favorite wine to celebrate. I spoke to my boyfriend last night and he won't budge. He doesn't believe in this tradition. My boyfriend, who witnessed his father be abusive and possessive with his mom as a child, has always felt strongly that women are not property. He thinks the tradition of asking for her hand is repulsive. His point is that he's met my whole family and gotten to know them. He says they have always known his intentions and he never made it a secret that he was in love with me and wanted to marry me and have children. He feels he was done enough to announce his intentions and all of them seemed to approve of him. He says that at this point, he only needs my approval to marry him and nobody else's. So yesterday, my mom told me that my dad, who is not even speaking to me because I won't set my foot down with my boyfriend, calling the whole family and telling them to not attend my wedding. My mom says that my boyfriend is the one treating me like property by not letting me have a say in his decision to not observe a tradition that my 2 older sisters' husbands observed. I told my mother that I understand where my boyfriend is coming from and I have decided to do away with the tradition of him asking for my hand. So my mother is obviously mad and said that I should be ready for serious consequences. I asked her what and she would not say, but from talking to my sister, she said that they would blackball us from all family gatherings. My 2 sisters and my mom have told me my boyfriend is being selfish. I'm worried that nobody in my family will attend my wedding. Update. The wedding went on as planned. My parents stuck to their guns and boycotted. One of my 2 sisters attended and is now happily blacklisted from our family. Nobody else from my entire family showed up, including my 2 brothers. The wedding was a little unconventional. My sister walked my husband down the aisle and then his sister walked me down the aisle. I wanted this because my sister-in-law actually introduced us and helped me get my first date with him. There were no questions about who gives away the bride or even about objections. It was normal other than that. There has been no contact between me and my family other than my one sister. My mother has made it a point to send me a card every time that they have a family gathering for holidays or birthdays at their house to let me know that my father says I'm not invited. I get one almost every month. I don't even read them anymore. I just toss them. I don't know why they keep sending them because I have made no effort to contact them and I live over 3 hours away. So it's not like I will run into them by accident. The reason I came back to post this here is because some people here made a prediction that came true, that they would come crawling back when we had children. I am now expecting our first child, a girl. She will be the first grandchild from my parents. My parents found out about the pregnancy a few months ago through a family friend. They didn't waste any time in making demands, not requests, demands. My boyfriend and I are not religious, but I had a Catholic upbringing. I don't practice at all by choice. My mother called me back in April telling me that my father wanted our daughter's middle name to be his mother's first name. I said no. My father was listening in on speaker, so I went ahead and told them that they were officially uninvited from all birthdays, graduations, and any other important dates in her life. My father called me half an hour later crying and begging me to come stay with them for the birth so my mother could care for me. I said no. He also said that he had already made arrangements for his priest to baptize her at his church, but that I needed to agree to naming her after his mother if I wanted this to happen. He said he had already planned a big celebration for the birth and the baptism that he was paying for. I said no to all of it. He went from meekly trying to sweet-talk me to raising his voice at me, and I hung up. He called a couple of more times to apologize for losing his temper and again begged me to reconsider giving birth at a hospital near them so they could visit us. He denied having any knowledge of my mother sending me cards to uninvite us to any family functions, and even said that he specifically asked her to invite us, but he was told I declined every time. He lets my mom do the dirty work so he can later hide behind her and deny he had any knowledge. He has done this since I was a little girl. He does this every time he wants to drop the hammer on somebody, but be the good cop also. He'll never change. He denied having any knowledge of why anybody in the family missed my wedding. I told him our daughter would not be baptized or Catholic at all. No offense to Catholics. I told him he was too manipulative and controlling, and I didn't want my daughter exposed to that. He's too toxic and just venomous. Coincidentally, that day and for several days after that phone call, I got tons of calls and emails from my brothers, their wives, my sister, and all my aunts. They all wanted to apologize for missing my wedding and all had specific excuses and wanted to make plans to be there for my daughter's birth. I banned them all from her life until she's old enough to decide for herself to let them in. My husband was a little surprised and not sure about banning everybody forever. He's more leaning towards supervised visits if they want to drive to us. My dad has been calling him like crazy, but we are a united front. My husband is deferring to me but giving me ideas as to how I can give a little if I decide to. But with my family, there's no giving a little. They want it all. For now, they are all banned. I will reconsider when the youngest of our children turns 18. For now, my dad will have to settle for sucking up to my husband while I stick to my guns. Unlike him, I don't mind owning my decisions even if it means I'm a bad cop. I'm not ready to give up a relatively drama-free, stress-free life to allow my dad and all his sheep back into our lives. Now for some comments. All but one person in OP's family was just fine cutting her out of their lives until a pregnancy came into the picture. My grandmother was Catholic, and I think she would have had some choice words for OP's family. For example, my cousin got pregnant before getting married. Married the father later though. Was Grandma happy about the circumstances? Not really. Did it change anything? Hell no. Grandma still loved her granddaughter and great-grandson. I think you are handling this perfectly. I think it is crazy how the rest of the family thinks they can go almost 2 years with no contact and then all apologize at the same time and thinking they can be let back in to see your baby. They know OP is polite enough not to gate crash, but her family is not. The last thing OP needs at her baby shower is for her dad to show up on her doorsteps demanding to be let in. Story 2. I'm 24. My sister Jess is 28. We have always been polar opposites. She was the pretty academic one who had the right type of friends, went to a good university, and is now engaged to a decent man. I always had friends who, although they were good people, were from the sort of backgrounds and spoke in the sort of way that my parents did not approve of. The final straw came when I got pregnant at 19 to a guy who didn't stick around. After a lot of tears and hard work, I'm now a working single mom with a place of my own. Everyone else from both friends and family approve, but my parents still continue to disapprove of the fact that I am an unmarried single mother and constantly go on about how Jess chose the right path. Jess is a spoiled snob. She refused to touch or be near my baby Lucia during the first 2 years because it might ruin her expensive clothes. She has a great career, accountant, yet still continuously asks my parents for money, which they are more than happy to give her. She lives at home and pays no rent. Tom, the guy she's engaged to, is on the surface a nice, good-looking guy with a good job, but he's also a thug who I've seen physically threaten other men for even a passing glance at Jess. I've been on nights out with them and seen her encourage him to go and intimidate some random guys for fun. She's even had him steal their drinks. Jess has always been spoiled, and since we were little, has thrown tantrums when she didn't get her own way. Yesterday, her and my mom went wedding dress shopping and I was asked to tag along with Lucia. And Jess and mom had a row because mom didn't want to buy her the dress she wanted, which was by far the most expensive in the shop. Mom even pointed out that with Jess's salary, she could afford the whole thing herself, but Jess continued to get upset. When we got back, me and Lucia stayed for dinner, but Jess went straight up to her room and cried. When she finally came down, she accused Mom of not caring about her and trying to ruin her big day. Mom was just trying to comfort her, but I was frustrated, having put up with her all day, and told Jess she was being a spoiled brat and that she should just buy the dress herself if it means that much to her. This made Jess cry even more, and Mom said that me and Lucia should leave now. I'm sorry, but I don't think I did anything wrong. She was acting like a child all day, expecting Mom to pay for things for her when she could easily afford them herself, and then crying when she didn't get her way. Even Lucia doesn't act as spoiled and childish as Jess does. Why was I told to leave? Story 3. My older sister is going through a messy divorce and she's pregnant. I'm graduating college in April and my friends and I are planning to travel from May to August to Europe, East Asia and SEA. And see, we've been making plans for months and discussed the itinerary many times. My sister wants me to cancel the vacation and come stay with her to help her with her infant. She's giving birth in April. I told her that I don't want to miss out on this opportunity to travel. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I do not think I will get the chance to travel for an extended period of time with my friends ever again, unless we are all retired 60 years olds. She called me selfish, but she had the chance to travel after university with her friends too. I think she's being unfair in trying to deny me this opportunity that she already had. Both our parents are coming over to help her during the first few months. The father of the child is also committed to helping financially. She argued that both our parents are elderly and would not be of much help, but I don't feel like that's my problem to solve. I've been looking at some affordable domestic workers or hired help to do the household chores so that she can focus on the baby, but she shot that suggestion down because she doesn't want to pay extra for outside help. She would rather make me miserable for free. I arranged the baby shower that she complained was too small. I know she's family, it's duty. I don't want my future nephew to suffer, etc. But I do want to go on this full vacation. So am I the a-hole for choosing to go on a vacation instead of staying behind to help her with her infant? Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. I don't get how it's selfish for you to take this once-in-a-life opportunity and not selfish of her to ruin your trip. You are two different people, not really your responsibility. Take the trip and have fun on your holiday. Seriously, like what the frick? Is he supposed to be there every single day to help? Every single day until the baby's a toddler? She needs to learn to have some independence to care for her own child. Not the a-hole. Her problems aren't automatically your problems just because she's your sister. She is being manipulative and unappreciative by dismissing the help available and nitpicking. I think you going on this vacation might go a long ways towards setting some boundaries with her. Enjoy your trip. It sounds like you've earned it.